Alright, what's up everybody, it's Sam from Bet. In this video we'll be doing my card predictions for UFC on ESPN 37. Kattar versus Emmett. So, as always, what we're gonna do in here, we're gonna go through all the picks and the bets, then on to the breakdowns. I'm not showing my results from previous card because at the time that I'm recording this, I'm doing 1 week prior to UFC 275, and I'm releasing this first on Patreon. So if you're seeing this from Patreon, thank you for your support. By the way, there are some good bets in here, in my opinion, that you can include parlay with the UFC 275 card, right? Especially the favorites here. I'm betting at least 3 favorites in this card. I'm very tempted to bet some others. I'm going to be commenting on this one. So there is good parlays and round robin options in here. So I think it's good to try those to maximize your profit, right? So let's go through this, and it's not the entire card, but I figured to share with you guys already. And the rest of the fights I'm gonna be adding as comments on Patreon and on the video itself, right? And if you're new to my channel, if you'd like to know how the Patreon can support you, how supporting the Patreon, how you can maximize your profit by supporting the Patreon, stick until the end. I'll show you how. All right. So between Yanez and Kelley, I'm picking Yanez but betting Kelley. It's a good bet on Kelley, in my opinion. Let's see how this goes, right? Plus 300, there is value there. Wait until the breakdown to know why. Laura De Paula and Maria de Oliveira. I'm picking De Paula, but not betting. McGee and Jeremiah Wells. I'm picking McGee as a dog. Was tempted to betting him, but ended up passing. Damir, Ismagulov and Guram, Kutateladze. I'm picking Ismagulov. Small bet on him. Albert Duraev and Joaquin Buckley. I'm picking, I think, Duraev, yes, but betting Buckley. Wait until the end to show how. Daukaus and Dolidze, picking and betting Daukaus. One of the favorites I'm parlaying together is Ismagulov. Few Hawes and Deron Winn. I'm picking Hawes. I didn't put in here. I don't know. I'm very tempted to parlay him. I'm waiting to see if people bet Winn here to try to bet Hawes at a better price. But anyway, I think at least something on Hawes is worth it. JP buys and Cody Durden. I'm picking JP. I want to see those odds. By the time I'm recording this video, it hasn't yet been released. I think Cody probably gonna come as a favorite, so I'm interested in betting JP here, even though I think it's tricky. He can lose this fight, but let's see. I'll break this guy down to you guys. Kevin Holland and Tim Means, another one. Very tempted to betting Holland. I think people are gonna be betting Means here a little bit more. I'm waiting, and I want to bet Holland here, even though it's always can always give you a headache to bet Holland. But anyway, I'm gonna be stubborn. Probably gonna do a little bit. Calvin Kattar and Josh Emmett, picking and betting Kattar. Jasmine, Jasudavicius and Natalia da Silva. I'm picking Jasudavicius but betting Natalia. Alright? So let's get into the breakdown, guys. Let's start with JP buys and Cody Durden. As I told you guys, this is an interesting one. I think it's gonna depend a lot on what JP buys does in terms of. The only reason I think JP is losing those fights that he's losing is because he carries his chin so high, he doesn't move the head and he's flat-footed. I don't think it's difficult that he fixes that, guys. I don't know why he still does the same mistake. I don't know if he's that limited, in terms of game playing execution. I'm sure that his coaches are telling him that. The man is so talented as a wrestler, right? Don't even need to say anything. And his grappling is also legitimate. He is strong, right? He's a thick guy in there, You can look at his frame. He's very muscular, His torso is so big in there. So he definitely has the physical tools. He has the wrestling. He's a good grappler. And he has legitimate power. The only problem, again, he carries that chin high. He doesn't move, and he gets hit with everything. So if he's going to do that again here, Durden is no slouch. Durden, the man has a big heart to win fights. He pushes hard. He also is a decent wrestler. Not decent, he's a good wrestler. He's a good grappler. And Durden, again, he can also fight on the front foot. He has much more angles, much more feints. So you can definitely make a case for Cody here. But I'm going to be stubborn again. I think buys, if he fixes just a little bit the head movement, or at least he just doesn't stay in front of the guy, right? He just has to move a little bit and he can dominate basically not anybody, right? But his wrestling could be very dominant. We're gonna see what's gonna happen here. I think Baez is more physical. Another concern on Baez here is that he's gonna come back to flyweight. I think he probably missed the weight before. He almost died by cutting the weight, so it's difficult for him to do that cut. I think Durden is more suited for a flyweight, so maybe Durden. I don't know. I'm 50-50 there, guys. But I think JP, if he comes ready, he has more chances. Plus, he's a little bit younger, so I think it's an advantage here. Another aspect to blend in here is that Vice, he was married to Cheyenne. They divorced, probably looks like it was because of not Vice's choice, let's not put it this way. So it could be some factor in there, psychological, and he was not performing too well, at least he was losing. So I don't know, maybe blending everything together, what I'm saying would Durden would be maybe the safest option, but again, I'm gonna be just stubborn here and pick Vice. I think that he's probably gonna he has to adjust at some point, and think he can adjust in this fight, right? So I think he has more chances for a submission. I'm picking him by submission in here. Gloria De Paula and Maria de Oliveira. Another interesting one. Oliveira, pretty good striker. She's long. She's quite fast in there. She's but basically she's a good striker in there. And the same can be said about De Paula. De Paula hits harder. She's the more well-rounded fighter. She has more UFC experience. I think she probably has the better training partners, Gloria and De Paula. So I don't know, man. I think at the end, her experience is gonna shine here. And Maria, she has good heart, right? I like what I've seen on her last bout. I think in the third round against Tabata Ricci, she was trying to push the pace. She got out-wrestled pretty easily, but anyway, she was trying to push, at least in the ending. But I don't think even if she tries to push against Gloria here, I think Gloria can land heavier and be more experienced, just basically in there. But I don't want to bet De Paula here at minus 300. I'm probably going to be betting only Oliveira by decision when the line is open, because I don't see a finish for Oliveira, but I do see her being able to score on the outside. Maybe De Paula doesn't come as sharp as she is, but anyway, I think if De Paula comes really sharp, it's going to be difficult for Maria, just because De Paula probably has more experience in the kickboxing and she hits harder, right? Court McGee and Jeremiah Wells, another interesting, and to call and to bet not so much, but to call it's interesting. Wells, super powerful. The man comes forward and extremely aggressive. He's also very physical, even at, he's probably 35 or 36 now. Even at this age, which is no longer the physical prime, but he's still so naturally gifted in the physical terms that he can push a hard pace, right? Even at that. He's definitely powerful, dangerous from the top, but he doesn't have much technique, especially on the wrestling. On the feet is not much of a problem, because anyway, he gets to your face and has so much power that you have to fight him, otherwise you're gonna just get pounded by him because he doesn't stop coming. But on the wrestling, he probably gonna use lots of energy to take this to the ground if he doesn't fight smart, which is brawl but keep it standing. McGee has legitimate wrestling, counter wrestling. McGee is no small welterweight himself. He's a strong guy. He's older. Here I think he's 38 he is. He's not the biggest striker, but anyway, he's still there. He's gonna fight you. And he doesn't back down. He has a good chin, never been finished, at least never been knocked out if I'm not mistaken. So it's gonna be a fight, guys. I think Court by decision is the safest pick, even though he's an underdog here, but I would bet McGee from plus 140, something like this. I don't want to bet McGee like plus 100 or something. Neither, especially not gonna bet Wells at this money line on him as a favorite. But maybe McGee by decision, because I don't think it's gonna be easy to finish Wells. So McGee by decision is the safest pick in my opinion. That's probably gonna be the only bet I'm gonna be having this one. Jasmine Jasudavicius and Natalia da Silva. This is an interesting one to bet in my opinion. Guys, to be honest, Natalia should win this fight. I'm just not picking her because it's her debut and she's 25, and then she's coming from Brazil obviously, and in Brazil, especially in the jungle fight, there's so much emotions involved. Almost the girls come to brawl. There's not much wrestling, right? All her fights, even though she showed some good, I think I've seen some good wrestling from her, and also some good escapes. Jasmine has the legitimate wrestling, and and Jasmine, she has the range in here, the height, so I think it's 5'7" and the 70 inches. She has pretty long arms, Jasmine, or at least close to that. And Natalia, shorter, shorter in range. But Natalia swings way harder. She has more power. I think if she stuffs Jasmine's takedowns and she pushes the pace, she has more chance because she has more power. Also, she's no slouch on the wrestling, neither on the grappling. But again, it's her debut. I'm swinging that a little bit harder here. I'm saying, by that I mean that I think I'm waiting that Natalia da Silva's debut a little bit more here. I think it's gonna be big lights for her, but maybe I'm wrong. And she's a jungle fight champion, so maybe she's used to that too. And but anyway, Natalia da Silva at plus 200 definitely worth it in my opinion, right? Plus she can finish Jasmine here. Jasmine to win has to use their wrestling and also hold the top position for a long time, which won't be easy if Natalia comes ready. So I'm back and forth here, guys. Ended up just Jasmine again, just because of the debut on Natalia, but definitely dog or pass here. This is probably my second biggest bet on Natalia da Silva. And if she comes ready, if I like her on the weightings, I'm gonna lay more money there. Few Hawes and Deron Winn. Another interesting one. Hawes, a physical guy for the division, good everywhere. Right, on the front foot especially, right, on the defense wrestling is good. Escapes are decent, and but defense on the feet quite tricky. Hawes is getting better there, but still he can be tagged. Deron has better defense. He's not that easy to hit, but he doesn't have the range, so it's always tricky. He cannot never land the guys. Not never, obviously, but it's difficult for him to land on guys. But Deron is not afraid. He comes forward, he swings, and has very high level wrestling. Winn, elite level wrestling. I think Winn has the better wrestling of the two. But I think Hawes, being so physical and being a good wrestler himself, it's not gonna be easy to take him down. Even if Winn takes him down, I don't see Winn holding Hawes down because Winn doesn't have much Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills, and he's so much shorter. Not so much shorter, 5'10" against 5'6", né? But anyway, it's significant, and Hawes is a very physical guy, very long limbs. So I think this is Hawes' fight to win. For me, it's fairly tricky to bet Hawes here, even though I'm gonna be doing a little bit, is because he can be tagged. Winn is a tough guy. If Winn implements a calf kick, it can be very interesting because Hawes also has to. He likes power punches, so he puts lots of weight on the front foot. If Winn can smash his calf in there, Hawes loses the power, loses the wrestling ability. Winn can definitely take over this fight. But anyway, I think I'm picking Hawes by knockout in here. I think he has more chances to land heavier, and Winn also can be finished. Right, so Hawes by knockout or Hawes within the distance in here. I think it makes sense. And Hawes by decision. I think if it goes the distance, Hawes has more chances too. So Hawes decision or knockout, I would get the prop at plus 300 if it appears, obviously. And if you like Winn, it has to be on the money line. I think if you like Deron Winn, maybe wait for people to parlay Hawes and get Deron from plus 200, something like this. Not a bad bet, in my opinion, either. Difficult one because the current lines, I think the line is lined up correctly. So any bet is tricky, any bet could be good, but I don't know, I think Hawes has more chance in here. Albert Duraev and Joaquin Buckley. It's another interesting one. Duraev does his best work by being on the front foot, swinging harder and take top position. Joaquin Buckley, quite similar things, even though he's more tricky. I think on the feet, Buckley should have the edge, not much because of technique, but rather because he's more powerful and more tricky with those kicks. Also, Buckley is not a bad wrestler, guys. I think this guy technical skills is overlooked because he has so much power, and he started being more of a brawler. But I think this guy is committed to his career. He's improving at an interesting pace. I think this is nearly a close fight, guys. I'm favoring Duraev a little bit just because of the experience. But like I told you guys, my money here is on Buckley. I have Buckley at least at 40% chances, right? There's obviously a range that but I assume that I could be wrong. So I don't know. To me, Buckley at least one plus 50, one from plus 150. I would bet Buckley. Buckley is at plus 175, so I like a little bit the money on Buckley. I think he has more chance for the finish. And Duraev gonna try to out wrestle him. I think Buckley has legitimate chances to defend that. He's more physical. Duraev is not the most physical guy. He's now 33, which is not old, but anyway, he's could start coming on a decline. Whereas Joaquin Buckley 27, I think it's the prime age, especially as a fighter. So I don't know, man. I think it's definitely dog or pass, and I like the bet on Buckley here a little bit. Kevin Holland team means another easy one to break down, but tricky one to bet at these lines. We know Holland, you know the length, the size, right, and the nature of physical power. The guy is talented too, but we know the whole in his game is from his back. Not that he doesn't have anything, but when he fights wrestlers, he cannot escape. Team Means is not a wrestler, but he evolved throughout the years with the takedowns. He's aggressive. He makes you fight at his style. He's a legitimate Thai fighter there. His kickboxer more not too much like a Thai style, but even though he has elbows and knees, so maybe that's why I say it more like a Thai style for Means. But the way he approaches his stance and everything, he keeps pushing the pace, right? He's tricky and he's tough, right? But the only problem here on Team Means is the age, 38, plus he has been knocked out several times. Holland has all the chances here, guys. He should be able to dominate this fight, to be honest. He just needs some takedown defense, right? He just needs to adjust a little bit from his back. I think he also can create scrambles pretty easily because he's so much bigger here, naturally bigger, and should be able to escape. Means is a good evolved again. His wrestling, not a bad grappler at this point, but I don't think he has enough rounds to do what other guys did to Holland. But anyway, Means gonna try, and Means is tough, right? But anyway, I think the value is on Kevin Holland, even though it has to be a small bet from my side because I've lost the money on Holland before, right? On some lame bets, assuming that he would come somewhat ready, and he could be a knucklehead in this regard, right? He can just not show up. But anyway, I think he has all the tools to show up at the welterweight. He's a massive one, and he should win this one by knockout. So I'm picking him inside of the distance because there's chance for submission, but I think more likely Holland by knockout. Probably gonna be parlaying him a little bit. Kyle Daukaus and Roman Dolidze. Another interesting one. Dolidze, I like what I've seen him from his last fight. He has to fight like that to win fights. Take the body lock, force the issue, and make it a grappling match. He's fighting Kyle Daukaus, which is a very talented grappler, a big guy for the division. Daukaus is not those muscular guys, that impress you physically, but he's thick there, has large bones, and he's tall and fairly long. So Dolidze to win here has to take that body lock and basically control Daukaus, which won't be easy. I think Daukaus has way more chances here, guys, to dominate on the feet. If Daukaus take it to the ground, he also dominates from top. Not that it's easy to do things against Dolidze. Dolidze is very dangerous with the leg locks. He's legitimate threat in there. He can finish even Daukaus, get him a leg lock, even though Daukaus has all the experience. He's a black belt himself. So I think Daukaus has all the chances to win here, guys. I have this one, Daukaus is minus 200. I got him at minus 190, so very little value there. Tricky given the odds, but anyway, I think I'm gonna go is a little bit with what my head tells me here, that Daukaus can be more dominant, and parlay Daukaus a little bit, right? If you like Dolidze by decision, definitely not bad. Probably I'm gonna be also trying to cover Daukaus a little bit with Roman Dolidze by decision. Damir Ismagulov and Guram Kutateladze. Another interesting one here. This is a higher level fight. Both of these guys can do everything. They are dangerous. They are not that dangerous, to be honest, but they are very technically sound and very tough. Both of them very, very tough. Damir controls the range pretty well. He's very tricky on the feet. He's long, lots of 1-2s and kicks, right? Extremely difficult to finish this guy. Rafael Alves landed clean on him and couldn't finish him. And he can do everything, guys. He can wrestle. He's one of those sambo guys that can take you down and make your life hell from the top. Even though he doesn't impose much that game, but he has legitimate skills in there. Guram Kutateladze, another tough guy. He beat Mateus Gamrot, which is amazing. and he could do the same here, especially if he can take it to the ground. But I think he cannot out-wrestle Ismagulov here. Ismagulov has legitimate takedown defense and escapes. I think he's gonna play on the feet. Guram, good kicks, good striking, but I think Damir is better. He's longer, even though Guram is taller, but Damir is longer. I think Damir gonna control the range, gonna land a little bit cleaner, gonna win a clean decision here. I think either 30-27, either 29-28. Again, if Guram wins here, has to be by wrestling, making this fight a grappling match, which I don't think he's gonna be that easy to do, but maybe I'm wrong. Guram is training with the all-star gym there with Chimaev and the whole crew. So I don't know, maybe he learned something there, but I think the safest bet here is Damir by decision. I'm betting Damir a little bit, even though again quite tricky at these odds. I think I'm going against my maths in here, my probabilities, because I have Damir as minus 150. I'm betting here at minus 180, so I'm going against a little bit my rationale, but I think Ismagulov has more chances to control this fight. Adrian Yanez versus Tony Kelley. This is actually an interesting one, guys. I mean, Yanez has more chances here. He's the younger guy, sharper on the feet, has the knockouts. He's actually deceptively strong. If you look at him, he doesn't look like to be the biggest puncher or the most, dangerous guy, but he's sharp, and when he starts landing, he's very accurate, and it's very tough to fight this guy. Tough to take him down, and you get into his range. He lands clean, and he's sharp, like I said. Plus, he's aggressive. He can take the front foot and make you push you back, and then start landing clean. So it's difficult to fight Yanez. Tony Kelley is an unorthodox guy. He likes to come forward himself, getting into the pocket. Make guys' life miserable by swinging inside, going knee, elbows. He likes to go ugly. Tony Kelley is not the best when the other fighter is a wrestler, which is not the case here. I was checking the stats. Yanez has 0 takedown attempts. I don't think he's going to shoot here just for the sake of, making a point or anything. Kelley has the holes from his back, but even if Yanez shoots here, I don't think that it's Kelley going to be held down for too long. Kelley's an experienced guy. So this fight going to play on the feet most likely. Again, Yanez is more dangerous. He has more chance for the finish. But Kelley is no slouch, man. He's tough, and like I told you, he's unorthodox. He's gonna get into guy's face. He's gonna keep pushing the pace, and he definitely has a chance here. Not definitely, but probably has a chance here, especially from the second round. Yanez is super dangerous on the first, but we'll see what happens if Tony Kelley keeps pushing the pace, goes ugly, start landing knees to the body. He could take over from the second round. Maybe at least making it close from the second, could win a split decision or something like that. So I think Adrian is definitely the safest pick here, but if you're gonna ask me about the bet, I would bet Tony from something like plus 200. He's plus 300, so it makes sense to bet Tony, in my opinion, and especially Tony by decision, as Yanez is not easy to finish, right? Tony, he could finish Yanez, not impossible. Tony goes ugly and he has some power, but yeah, Kelley by decision, in my opinion, the best bet in this one, right? Because, again, also one interesting thing here, Kelley's, I think, a couple of inches taller, so, and he's a little bit more physical, at least by nature of size, right? Even though Yanez is younger and he's sharper, so that sort of nullifies a little bit. But anyway, Tony getting into your face and making a dog fight is not easy to deal with him, so the value is on Tony here, in my opinion. Calvin Kattar versus Josh Emmett. This is another high-level fight here. Emmett, I mean, he's at his best when he can land those powerful swings. He's also a good wrestler. The problem Emmett has, in my opinion, is that he's not the best grappler. He takes guys down, but he struggles to control position, take into a dominant position, like using passes, like technical passes with BJJ, or taking guys back. He doesn't do that. He's mostly a power wrestler, gets guys down, and then from there he either cracks with big power from top, but most of the time he sort of defends the submission and lets the guy get back up. So I'm commenting about the wrestling here because I think Josh is a better wrestler, and he definitely has more power, he's more physical, but Kattar has, I think, 5 inches in height, In reach, he probably has only 2. Emmett, broad shoulder, quite long arms. But anyway, you gotta count for at least with the height difference here. Josh has to punch upwards, so that counts. Not that Josh is not used to that. He's a swinger. He swings for the bleachers with that overhand, and if he lands, he can put anybody out. But Kattar is a tough guy to hit, right? He has a good jab, good sharp one too. In his last fight, he changed his style a little bit against Giga. He was more like trying to fight based on instincts. It worked well against Giga. He had to do it, otherwise I think he would lose a decision to Giga. So it was good. He surprised me a little bit in there, right? Because I had a bet on him by decision, so I cashed, but I was not confident. It was just more likely maybe he could do it. Was not that confident. So Kattar surprised me there. But if he does the same here, it concerns me a little bit, because if he wants to get inside and make it like an instinct fight against Emmett, he's probably gonna get caught and get finished. But I hope that Kattar gonna be smart here, gonna use lots of jabs, 1-2s, and Emmett doesn't like getting hit anyway. So I think if Kattar also starts landing, Josh gonna start swinging in the air, gonna hit more shots, and gonna eventually get finished. So that's my prediction here. Emmett has a chance, especially if Kattar tries to come too aggressive. Then he probably, if he runs into a big shot, he's probably gonna get dropped, as we know that Emmett has that power. But rather than that, I don't see much chance for Emmett, because like I told, the wrestling is good, but not much control. Kattar is the better grappler of the two, and there's that significant height and reach advantage. So I'm going Kattar here. I'm parlaying him a little bit, but nothing crazy. And by the way, I forgot to fix this one. So this will do for this video, guys. As I told you, if you wish to support the channel, show your appreciation, plus know how this can benefit you, here it is. I have basically 2 tiers for you. This is in Brazilian reais, but this is $10, this is $50 in US dollars. So how does this benefit you? Like I told you at the beginning of the video, this was released first to the patrons. Hopefully the guys cashed and made cashed in the previous bout and got some parlays in with this one, which is always nice to maximize the profits. So there is the early releases, plus I have some posts that I do exclusive here, and you guys can chat with me for 50, and included on the $10. It's this material is included, right? And for $50, you guys have access to this spreadsheet, which has all my odds to this one, so you can compare it to what the bookies have, try to figure out your own. Figure out some opportunities yourself. Plus in here I have all the bets that I'm taking, and on the props that I have, this one, the time that I'm recording this, there's no props because it's far from the time, but I do add the props here on the 50. So here are some props that I took over the course of the time, so you can have line by line on the props that I have compared with this one. Compare it with this one here. All right. So just to show you guys how the post looks like, let me show you a post from the previous time. So here's some posts, not showing from this one as I showed from the previous. This was not a successful event, but just to be fair also, here are some thoughts after the weightings on Holmes versus Vieira. Right, so I said that I was betting more in Araujo. I said about the close fight here with Chukadian versus Ribas, which was a close fight, so I also commented that, be careful. So you guys can have access to this, right, and plus chat with me and I'll show your appreciation. This material is also available. You guys have here the written comments, right, so you can also read in here, have my analysis here consolidated and whatnot. In every slide here I have that, so that helps a little bit too. All right, so I hope this helps, guys. I hope you guys have a good luck with this card, and I'll talk to you next time. This time from Jordan, bring the best, most consistent and transparent betting strategy for you.